only see that side of him. The trash talk or whatever, they'll either love him or hate him. He's a different person off the field. He's a loving person. He's a caring person. He's a very easygoing young man.
Everybody who knows Richard likes Richard. Richard just doesn't walk around town talking trash.
Sherman is a self-proclaimed nerd with a degree from Stanford. But the NFL's biggest trash talker received his first and most important education from a garbage man.
My dad works sanitation for the city of LA, and he's done that for close to 30 years now. Every day since I've ever been capable of understanding, he's woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and went to work. And he gets back around 2 in the afternoon. The next day he works at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I drive the trash for the city of Los Angeles. It's a job that I don't too much like, but I've done it all my life. So, and you know, it was to provide for my family. The only goal that I had for my son was education, to make sure that he got more education than I got, and to make sure that he was in a better position than I was.
He works every holiday because he gets overtime. This year, he has to leave on Christmas, right after we open presents and everything, to go back to LA because he had work tomorrow. I sent them to Cancun for their anniversary, and they had to come back early so he can go to work. That kind of hard work and that kind of work ethic, that kind of blue-collar mentality is kind of what got me to where I am.
Placed the man in position to be appointed.
Sherman grew up alongside his older brother Brandon on the streets of Compton, where gang violence was part of everyday life.
Right now, we're at what used to be our house. When we lived here, it was green, though, so it's a little bit different now. Used to have bums come in the house and, you know, take some of the leftover food from the night before. We had bums that would halfway, like, babysitters.
They were basically
I mean, because my mom and dad had to work all day.
Out here on New Year's to celebrate, it's not only fireworks in the air. They shoot guns.
It's fireworks.
It's fireworks. Real guns.
That's just normal life. I mean, you don't know any other way. You don't know that that's as dangerous as it gets, you know, hearing gunshots, but it's where you're from, it's what you are, and so you can't pick where you're from.
My kids grew up in the area of Watts. I really wasn't afraid of anything. Never a time where gangs really, like, you know, caused problems with either one of my kids because they knew us. They respected us.
And the inner city is not the smallest place in the world, but it's also not the biggest. My mom, she's always involved, whether it's she's the team mom for our football team, she's at our school baking stuff, she's involved in every facet of our life. And it created such a family atmosphere. Everybody wants to protect the family. People who didn't really know us that well, even though they weren't doing the most reputable things, they didn't want to see her kids fail.
Most of the time when we went out and messed with those guys, they'd have so much respect for my mother and father that they'd be like, hey, I mean, what are you doing out here, boy? Go home. Like, I know your mom and dad, like, this isn't your lifestyle. Like, they were guardian angels or something like, hey, get away from here. You know, because you could be on this same corner when the guys come through and shoot this corner up.
When they're not.
One of his, you know, best friends who was killed Richard's first year at Stanford.
Setting the
he just
bad
happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Kid just came over to visit, and you know he ended up getting shot at with one of his best buddies, Scooby.
Richard kept him with him everywhere he went.
Learn, appreciate.
I think it just taught him a lot of life lessons.
It's bad.
You want to do what he would have been able to do, what he would have wanted you to do. I'm going to make sure his memory lives on, and that other kids hear about him, other kids hear about the story, other kids know there's other ways to get out of this place than being dead or in jail. We weren't the richest people in the world, and we're incredibly wealthy in a lot of other areas. We knew the right from wrong, and we knew it was a very strict line, right from wrong. When I went off to college, people always thought, you know, they didn't know what to think of me, trying to figure out how I got to Stanford from, you know, such a bad place.
Exactly.
Everybody keeps saying, like, it's an oxymoron. It's like, you're a moron if you think it's an oxymoron. The stereotypes you get from seeing TV or seeing these movies, most people don't know anything about Compton. There's some incredible people that come out of Compton, incredible people still in Compton, still in Watts. And people just use the stereotypes to shape their mind in a certain way and judge people, and I think it's awful to judge people.